was at a convention a couple of years ago, and I was out in the back of the hallway between sessions, struck up a conversation with another nurse, and she told me that she had just gotten out of nursing school. I think it was a second career for her. And she was telling me that she really wanted to become a nurse practitioner, and she was dying to get into a particular school near where the convention was that was very difficult to get into at that time. They had strict criteria, and I think they even had a waiting list at the time. So we had a nice conversation, and she was one of these people that just had a lot going for her, somebody that you meet and you think, gee, I'd like to stay in touch with this person for whatever reason. So I took my business card out of my purse, and I presented it to her, and I said to her, do you by any chance have a business card? And she said to me, oh, I don't have a business card. Why on earth would I need a business card? And I said to her, well, I can understand that you might think that, but I gave her my spiel about why it was important, and I thought it was part of her image and her professional development. And I said, you know, I'm sure if you haven't felt the need for one so far, it's just a matter of time before you wish you had one. And I said, I do recommend that you get one made. And she again said to me, I don't need a business card. So I thought, all right, well, I'm not going to beat a dead horse here. I made my point. I said my piece. And with that, the doors to the room where we were all going to have lunch opened, and we all migrate into this room to have lunch. Now, she and I were talking, so we walked together, and we sat at the same big round table together. And other nurses came and filled in the table, and the whole table was filled eventually. Being the friendly bunch of nurses that we were, we started to go around the table and introduce ourselves, and each person said their name and where they were from. And there was one older, very well-dressed, very distinguished-looking woman who sat at our table. Well, who do you think she was? She was the dean of the nurse practitioner program that this young nurse wanted to get into. Now, first of all, is this a fluke thing that happened? Absolutely not. That happens all the time when you get yourself out there. You will be amazed at the people you run into and meet in situations like this. Well, I couldn't believe it. She couldn't believe it. I immediately looked over at her. Her face was lit up with excitement. And she leaned forward and she said to this woman, oh, I'm a recent graduate. I'm dying to get into the nurse practitioner program there. I heard it wasn't easy. I've tried to get some information, but I haven't really made any headway yet. And what do you think the dean said to her? Give me your business card and I'll be more than happy to help you. This wasn't 10 minutes after we had just had this conversation out in the hall. I couldn't have planned this more perfectly if I had tried. So with that, this poor young woman's face, it was lit up a minute ago. She got a totally dejected look on her face. Her head went down, her shoulders went up, and she slowly began to turn in my direction. And I didn't have to say a word. I just gave her the universal gesture of I told you so, which was